Welcome to another episode of the Bible Beater Podcast. This is the Lord of Hosts, Caleb Campbell, joined as always by the interrupter, Kyle Vestner. How's it going anyways, Kyle?
Little frog in your throat there.
Yeah, wasn't quite ready. I mean, I was ready.
I'm prepared.
I didn't do my vocal exercises before.
No? Which is what?
Blowing
fireball?
Yeah, blowing Kermit.
Okay.
Yeah, how's it going, dildos? Happy birthday to my brother Joab.
It's his birthday today?
On the 6th it was. And happy birthday to my sister Vashti, whose birthday is tomorrow the 9th. And that's the...
Happy birthday to the Campbells.
Yeah, that's that. We my parents did it right.
Call it Soup Week.
We're like all Soup Week. Stacy's uterus.
Stacy's Pussy Soup Week.
Jesus.
What?
My dad did it
you
right.
You brought her into it.
My dad did it right, dude. We had all 5 kids.
Mom?
All 5 kids, 8 years, all 2 years apart. It's just like, boom. And so it's like...
My dad did it right. Never came in her butt once. 5 in a row.
I just mean, they're basically 2 years apart. All the birthdays are between, well... Simeon's in October, but besides that, it's like January to March. All the birthdays fucking done, and then we just get on with our year.
Yeah, they had their rhythm there.
Yeah. There was probably a date circled on the calendar for when we get back to breeding.
As soon as the stitches heal.
Stacy, the Bible says, "Blessed be the woman whose quiver is full." So we need more. We need more than. You need a half dozen arrows. I don't know.
Stacy, the Bible also says face down, ass up.
Jesus.
That's the way I like to fuck.
Bible does not say that.
Right, that was 2 Live Crew, which is kind of like the Bible. They are my gods.
How's it going, Kyle? Anything new in your world?
Yeah, I'm thinking about cosplaying to Ottawa and dressing as a raccoon. Dressing as a raccoon and punching Trudeau in the face.
That would be hilarious, epic, and you would go to jail for a
like
while.
a long time.
They'll throw the book at you, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Which really is not as bad. I'd rather get a book thrown at me than go to jail for many years.
That's true. Also, though,
sorry.
It's weird when books don't even hurt that much.
Yeah.
You can even read them if you want.
That's when it really starts to hurt your brain, doesn't it, Kyle?
Yeah, big time. You know what? I don't really even have to punch him. I could just punk him out, make him flinch. That'd be good enough for me.
If he didn't flinch, how dumb would you feel?
I'd curl up in a ball and die.
If I tried
to punk out Trudeau and he stone colds me?
He did box. I mean, who did he box?
Oh, he could. Yeah, he could duck me and clip me with one.
He boxed. Like, I thought that boxing match where can't remember who he boxed, but I thought he won.
When he was a young hottie?
Yeah, I don't know. He boxed somebody like 5 years ago, did he not?
Way longer than that.
Like another politician, though, for some charity thing.
I don't know. Didn't he box when he was
boxed
just
Doug Ford. It was like a...
What?
No, I don't know. I'm making shit up now. That would have been sweet, though. Fucking, he does crack right between rounds. Gets
Dude,
like...
Doug Ford could be like a Butterbean clone.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Just throwing overhand rights only.
If he got a fucking... A snort in or a huff in, or I don't know. Do you huff crack? Rob Ford, Doug Ford, they're brothers, right? Butterbean brothers.
There's 2.
Whatever. The crackhead one. Didn't they both do crack?
Yeah. Rumor has it. One got caught only on video.
Yeah.
The dead one.
They partied together. They were brothers.
Yeah, they both did crack for sure.
Like,
they both have the same body type. They talk the same.
By the way, not that big of a deal, honestly. I've done it.
For your politician?
Fine.
Maybe you don't want... I wouldn't elect you for office either.
Fair enough. You know what? Fair enough. But I'm just saying, like, you do it once, it's not that big of a deal.
Smoke?
If it becomes a lifestyle,
yeah.
I've smoked crack twice, and not that much better than snorting coke. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's cheaper. That's why people do it.
And it's more intense, but shorter high. So I've heard.
I was already so fucking fucked up. Like, it didn't really stand out to me. I was like, not. It wasn't like that's the highest I've ever been.
Were you already doing coke though?
Yeah.
Oh well, come on, dude.
Yeah, we were on.
So you got a little higher, and you're like, this isn't.
No.
You're already blasted, and you're trying to take off even more.
My eyes were like jittering in my head, and like my friend Devo, he's like, we should talk to people. I'm like, that's the last thing we should do. We went to a metal show in Vancouver. We were staying at the Canby, and we got cocaine before the show, and of course, like we sweat through our jeans. It was in paper folds, so we ruined it with sweat. And then he wanted more, so I was like, "This is the beauty of Hastings Street. Watch this. Who knows where we can get cocaine?" The guy like right next to me is like, "I got some," or no, and then he goes, "Rock or powder?" And I'm like, and Devo's like, "Powder," and I'm like, and I was like, "That's." He's like, "I got rock," and I'm like, "That's crack," and he's like, "Shut the fuck up." Yeah, we'll take it. I'm like, okay, so now we got crack, and we have no means to smoke it.
Yeah. You just go to a gas station,
have
buy a
crack.
little thing with the flour in
We
it.
tapped the guy on the shoulder like, "Do you have a pipe?" He unfurls with his like fucked up, broken, like mangled hand, unfurls this like dirty handkerchief with shards of glass, black at both ends. And says, "You can use one of these." We're like, "Fuck it, this is how we do crack."
Fuck it.
Yeah. So we take it. Now we don't have a lighter. Now we have like a fucking shard of glass, crack, and no lighter.
Yeah, you can slit your wrists.
So we're walking down, and Devo's asking everybody for lighters. "Hey, do you have a lighter? We need it to smoke crack." "Hey, do you have a lighter? We need it to smoke crack." And so these three guys, like our age, we were like 27, 28.
I think you're joking for sure.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, we got one," and we like, "Thanks," and we pull it out. They're like, "What?" Our fucking black on both ends, shard of glass. They're like, "What the fuck? Just keep it, man." Anyways, we get back to the hostel. This is where we were in the story, and I'm like, my eyes are jittering in my head, and I'm like, I don't feel very. And he's like, "We should talk to people." I'm like, "We should not talk to people." He's like, "I'm gonna go talk to those guys." We're staying at the hostel, so there's like international
1,000 miles an hour.
So he goes and talks to these like German guys, and he like, of course, like waves me over in like 30 seconds. And they're like, "These guys are awesome. They think we're hilarious." And so he starts drinking with them, and I'm like, "Look, man, I got a blow box in my car. If I keep drinking, we won't be able to leave Vancouver till like the next
I
day."
can be high on crack. I just can't be drunk.
So I went to bed. And then he comes upstairs, and he's like, "I can't believe you're going to bed on my birthday." And I'm like, "Whatever." He's like, "Let's do the last of the Coke." I'm like, "The Coke is ruined. It's wet." And he's like, We'll stick it up our asses." So I was like, "Okay." So I fucking got mine up there to like the second knuckle. And then I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to bed." Like the dumbest plan ever.
What?
Because I can't go drink again, or else I'll never be able to start my car. Because like if you drink, you need to give it at least 12
hours. So
hours.
why stick the Coke up your ass?
Because I'm an idiot. And then I just laid in bed pulsating till the sun came up, right? And the next day for breakfast, we're out at breakfast.
Should have saved the Coke for the morning.
I mean, should have, could have, would have, right?
Yeah.
I'm just
stuck it up your ass in the
miserable.
morning.
I'm drinking a coffee. Tivo goes, "Man, I can't believe you went to bed early, man. You're fucking boring." I'm like, "Hang on, let's recap. Metal show, cocaine, crack, strangers, Coke up the ass." I'm boring. That's the end of that
In
story.
your friend group, you might be.
Yeah. I've reformed.
These are all your friends. You won't do it. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Every single one of your friends.
Yeah, you won't do it, pussy.
Hey, that guy's you're more of a bitch than that guy right there? No. Goes and does something 10 times crazier.
Yeah.
Lights his body on fire.
Isn't it
Call
fun?
back.
Isn't it fun though?
It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch.
It's not fun when you don't participate, because I do shit. You're more of an instigator.
Yeah, that's definitely
gotta
my
get-
favorite role.
When you get involved though, and you're like, it's fun to just be an idiot.
I don't want to piss in my mouth. I already do stupid enough things in my life to piss in my own mouth.
All right, moving on. Do you remember what we read about last week,
Or
Kyle?
Smoke crack.
Do you remember what we read about last week?
No, not one bit actually.
We read about Solomon dedicating the
Nothing.
temple and how great he was and all the stuff that he did and how he took some forced labor, not slaves, from Gibeon, I think it was.
I mean, that's like calling a pyramid scheme network marketing.
Which, it's just a good, clever name.
Yeah.
It's a
Same
euphemism. Euphemism. So now, Solomon, we read about how much gold he had. By the way, so we were reading about how much gold he had. I'll just read the last paragraph. King Solomon also built ships at Ezion-Geber, which is near Elath and Edom, on the shore of the Red Sea, and Hiram. And Hiram sent his men, sailors who knew the sea, to serve in the fleet with Solomon's men. They sailed to Ophir and brought back 420 talents of gold, which they delivered to Solomon. And that is about 14.5 metric tons of gold. And we were speculating last week about how much a metric ton of gold is.
Yeah, because we were on fire.
I looked it up. It's about a pallet stacked like 8 gold, like a traditional gold bar that you think of when you think of the movies. It's about those stacked about
kilogram or something.
8. Yeah. So then they'd be 10 high if that's.
I think it's way more than a kilogram. I'm an idiot. Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's not that much. A ton of gold. Like in my head, I thought it would be more.
Yeah.
So, and he's got 14 tons there. He had 5 tons before. So he's got like 15 tons of gold or pallets of gold, let's say, in his warehouse, which is still to me an outrageous amount.
Possible.
But then I heard that Solomon or Alexander the Great took 1,100 metric tons from somewhere that he conquered all the way back to Greece. So it's doable.
True.
And
what were the other guys? The Persians? Didn't they have all the gold? They had it in the movie 300.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically the thing. The Persians had all the gold. So that's in the movie 300. That's right after they sack fucking Israel. So
really?
They destroy Israel and then they come over to Greece and they're like, this is the new part of the world that we're conquering. And the Greeks held them back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With their hairy women. Just threw them at him and said, "Do you want this? Do you really want this?"
The legend of the Sasquatch was born. So here we are. Queen Sheba.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah?
Yeah, go on.
Queen Sheba visits Solomon. When the Queen of Sheba heard about the fame of Solomon, where's Sheba, you ask? Sheba is maybe modern-day Ethiopia, or located on like the Horn of Africa.
Sheba was a person's name.
Sheba is the place. She's the queen
of
Sheba. Yeah. So the Horn of Africa, like the rightmost side.
Can't picture it, but I'll take your
Okay,
word
well
for
you
it.
got like Africa's got like the big bulge half circle, and it kind of like tapers down to a triangle. If you go to the right hand side to the top of the triangle, and then it cuts back in.
Okay.
So that's called the Horn of Africa. That's where Sheba is.
Is that like the fertile part?
No, the Fertile Crescent, Egypt, is the fertile part, but the Horn is still pretty fertile. I'm pretty sure the Nile goes through there.
If you give a little part a nickname, like an olden-timey nickname, it must have been good to live there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's the Sahara Desert was an insurmountable obstacle for a very long time, as in very little trade happened. Like it'd be like the oceans, like almost nobody was able to traverse it until a certain time period, and ships and bullshit. But I'm getting over my head here.
Okay. What part of the U.S. has like the dick? Is that California or is it the
Florida?
Florida's the dick.
Yeah.
So Florida's like the. So it's the same thing. Like Florida's the dick of the U.S.
Yeah,
they're the Horn of Africa.
That's kind of boning Asia.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, nice.
It's an older timey word for a dick. Couple of dicks.
I like the sexy countries, like the ones that are fucking other countries.
Everyone knows Africa has a bigger horn.
Okay. When the Queen of Sheba heard about the fame of Solomon and his relation to the name of the Lord, she came to test him with hard questions. So this Sheba, people don't speculate if she exists or not, but all the major religions, the Abrahamic religions, acknowledge her, as she's in the Quran. She's in other rabbinic or Jewish texts. And historians, maybe she existed, maybe she didn't. Okay. But she's like
Jesus,
famous in Ethiopia, Ethiopian legends. And that's.
I bet you the feminist part of the Bible loves this. That feminist Bible loves this part.
Yeah. So she's like the richest queen in Africa. She comes all the way up to Israel because she's heard the legends of this super smart guy with all this money.
And she wants to dick him down?
Basically, yeah. So she came to ask him hard questions because, remember, he's the wisest man of all.
And he only had soft answers. He
Imagine,
was drinking.
Yeah, they send a woman to test you.
Yeah, especially back then.
No one would believe.
That's like getting a woman to beat any good chess player at chess. Ain't gonna happen.
I mean, it's could happen. It's just
it hasn't in the history of the world.
Yeah, they don't play that often. There's some pretty good chicks though. Judith Polgar beat Magnus Carlsen. I think she's the first chick to do it.
In a match or a game?
In a game.
Oh, okay, that's still pretty dope.
Not many
Magnus Carlsen is so. I watch like YouTube clips once in a while. Not really understanding. I don't understand the intricacies of chess.
Yeah,
it's still like insane.
He's the best chess player by far, by like ever. Like he's like 300 points better than the
Yeah,
next
but
best.
everyone is built on the back of.
There's rating inflation in that. But the second thing is he's also the best at fucking fantasy soccer. He's the best at Euro soccer. He wins the fucking
What?
Yeah. Not only does he play chess, he's the best at fantasy fucking Euro soccer.
That's completely different. I mean, it's still
he gambles
a measure of intelligence.
I'm pretty sure he's pretty good at poker, and he gambles all the time.
I can guarantee you if he's good at all those things, he's good at poker.
Yeah.
If he's good at those two things, he's automatically good at poker.
Yeah.
He's nowhere near the like world class, I can
probably
guarantee,
not. But he I'm thinking he makes money.
Oh, I can guarantee he does.
Anyways, so the Queen of Sheba arrives to ask hard questions. Arriving at Jerusalem with a very great caravan, with camels carrying spices, large quantities of gold, and precious stones. She came to Solomon and talked with him about all that she had on her mind. Solomon answered all her questions. Nothing was too hard for the king to explain to her. They had mansplaining 3,000 years ago.
Also, none of the questions we could remember to include.
Yeah.
None of these profound, unbelievable questions.
I'm glad you
We'll just yada yada every other bullshit detail, except for these brilliant questions that he answered so eloquently.
I'm glad you picked up on that. I was going to say, like, did he answer,
what is the meaning of life?
Those philosophical questions are like, why does the stars move in the sky?
Just
what are the orbits? Yeah, like, why do we have so much disease?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you think washing our hands would be beneficial?
Why does my pussy bleed once a month?
Yeah, nothing. She asked him very hard questions, and he answered them all. What a Bible story. And the 4-year-old me goes, fuck, that guy's a smart guy, right? Yeah. And then, because that's the first and last time you consider it, is when you're 4. Then you grow up and you're 20, you're like, yeah, Solomon's the smartest guy that ever lived. And someone challenges you on it and you look like a fucking retard.
Just like, what questions did he ask? What questions was he asked? He answered all of them.
He sawed a baby in half.
I like that one. I like that one. Dude, if that might be the epitome of cleverness back then.
Well, it's to this day they use it as the example.
Point.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
But come on. That's like... You got the fucking...
That is some world-class manipulation.
You got the fox, the chicken, and the fucking scorpion all on one side of the river. And how do you get it? Like those ancient fucking logic problems.
Isn't a scorpion and a frog?
Whatever the fuck it is. My point is, it's not that fucking clever.
I like it is clever. They're a bunch of fucking... They had nothing back then. No one had a book.
Don't even start with me. Like, the Greeks got the circumference of the earth to within, 100 fucking meters.
Yeah, okay. Well, they also lost all of that when they went down, so...
What do you mean?
For, 2,000 years, they lost the recipe to concrete.
That's true.
For 2,000 years. So it's not like everyone had it. These group of people who figured out that they could shit in a river and it would flow down... And you didn't have to shit in the street. And then that made everyone instantly way smarter because they weren't living in shit. Yeah. And they figured a couple things out. And then everyone didn't like it and killed them all. And then it took 2,000 years to get it back.
But it's
2,000 years.
It's a fallacy to say that people living back then were dumber than us.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Malnutrition alone.
They
it's directly related to intelligence.
Okay, I mean, fine. I guess
I get that knowledge is built on the back of other people, and you can't say what we know now is related to them.
Yeah,
totally agree. But they were living in shit
but they
and very
also
malnourished.
Had some pretty smart guys. Like
sure.
They figured out how to build bridges without power tools.
Yeah.
They fucking built huge things.
Concede that, no problem.
Yeah, and independent discoveries of different types of math and all that kind of crap. So.
Well, I like it how I got into this a while back, but all these major discoveries in mathematics and science were simultaneously discovered throughout the world almost at the exact same time. It's whatever who's publicized it the most got all the credit for history.
Yeah.
Which doesn't kind of directly implies that everyone's building off of everyone's stuff all the time.
Always. The Bible is building off of other religions.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No. God wrote it for us, the white man.
But God was inspired by Zoroastrianism, Buddhism, and, some Egyptian shit.
If you had to answer this, I guess the answer would be whoever wrote it. But what race is God?
Oh.
Because there's so many races on the earth, right? And God is the image of man, or whatever, same thing.
I mean, this is, I guess,
how do you answer that
the
question?
eternal question.
Is he all of them
Jewish.
at once?
You'd have to say Jewish.
You'd have to say Jewish.
Because those are his chosen people.
He's got a big old nose. God is a fucking hook nose, dude.
But, I mean, yeah, who knows? I'm thinking back to descriptions of God in the Bible, and he's always just
Was that kind
described
of funny?
as white. He's described as a white light, though.
Really?
Like,
well,
pure brightness and whiteness.
which is the purest form of light.
It's like, I mean, I guess the Bible is what if you read between the lines.
Yeah. It's just funny because I'm assuming wherever, like, do the people of the Koran must think they're
the chosen ones.
what do they think? They must think God looks like them.
Yes.
Everyone thinks their God looks like them.
Yes.
All the Asian countries
Of
think their
course.
God looks like
That's
them.
why fucking
It's just funny that the Bible's worldwide and there's
American
people that are
Christians always paint Jesus as a white guy.
Yeah,
always. He was definitely not a white guy, right?
like, no.
Olive
that was
skin
that was what I was getting
Mediterranean
at it.
man.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jesus, God is a Jew. That's the fact.
I guess that is the answer, yeah.
So
God's the first J-Dog.
So when
The original dog.
when the Queen of Sheba saw all the wisdom and the palace that he had built, the food on his table, the seating of his officials, the attending servants in their robes, his cupbearers, and burnt offerings he made at the temple of the Lord, she was overwhelmed. So basically what that's saying is, like, the servants were balling. They all had, like, Dolce & Gabbana. They had Versace bags. They fucking...
She's treating him well. She's
like,
pimping out her fucking
well,
crew.
Solomon is pimping. Like, she was impressed by even the servants.
Oh, Solomon was pimping out.
Yeah, so, like, the servants are dressed like kings elsewhere.
He's taking care of his boys.
That's what you can read there. Like, it is so unbelievably lavishly wealthy.
Unbelievably, I like that word.
Unbelievably lavish.
You know what? They weren't his servants. They were his entourage, dude.
You might as well read it like that. She said to the king, "The report I have heard in my own country about your achievements and your wisdom is true. But I did not believe these things until I came and saw with my own eyes. Indeed, not even half of what was told me in wisdom and wealth, not even half was told me in wisdom and wealth. You
What
have
does
far.
that mean?
It's very hard to read. Indeed, not even half was told me.
It does say that.
In wisdom and wealth,
In both versions.
you have far exceeded the report I heard. How happy your men must be. How happy your officials who continually stand before you and hear your wisdom. Praise be to the Lord your God, who has delighted in you and placed you on the throne of Israel."
This could just be the king of Thailand right now.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
he's like, oh, man, yeah, the first lady came over,
Yeah.
Melania Trump, and she said that I'm the smartest guy, and she asked me hard questions, and I answered them perfectly. And she said, wow, your answers are so good. And then she said...
Then I shot a 20 round in golf.
Yeah.
16 holes in one.
Yeah, 16.
It's pretty sweet.
And
I can dunk a basketball in a 12-foot net,
and we wrote it all down
even though I'm 5 feet tall.
as proof, and you can read it here as proof because it's written. And she signed it.
You know what I like about Kim Jong-un?
What?
Okay, so he's got like all the myths about him that they create, the propaganda machine,
Mm-hmm.
that he is the best at everything, right? He wears lifted shoes.
To be taller.
Yeah. Just lie.
Sad.
If you have that delusion where you can say you can dunk a basketball, you shot a 20 round in golf, just say you're the tallest guy in the country.
But that clearly he'll be standing next to people that are taller than him, debunking. Like, that's one of those debunkable on site ones. So you have
But
to.
you have to order lifted shoes.
Yeah, he's probably walking around on stilts. So, like,
No, they're like this, dude. They're huge.
I should get a pair of those.
Yeah.
My weight with all this.
You might be as tall as your girlfriend then.
Yeah. I have to stand on my tiptoes to kiss her.
Worth it.
They're all the same height on their back.
Didn't you say you had to go doggy style tippy toes?
I can't. I have to go on the side of the bed. That's also not on her back. Moving on. She said all that shit.
Oh God.
Praise be to the Lord your God, blah blah blah, because of the Lord's eternal love for Israel, he made you king to maintain justice and righteousness. And she gave the king 120 talents of gold. That is 4 metric tons.
It'd be funny if it just went, and that is a lot of gold.
Yeah. Large quantities.
That's a shitload.
large quantities of spices and precious stones. Never again were so many spices brought in as those the Queen of Sheba gave to Solomon.
So men kings have gold and women kings have spices.
And then this is in parentheses.
I'd rather have spices straight up.
As if it's like an aside. Hiram's ships brought gold from Ophir, and from there they brought great cargoes of almug wood. I looked that up. They think it's a juniper tree. Almug wood and precious stones. The king used almug wood to make supports for the temple of the Lord and the royal palace, and to make harps and lyres for the musicians. So much almug wood has never been imported or seen since that day because it doesn't exist.
Damn.
It's a mythical wood found in the forests of the elves in Middle Earth.
Yeah.
It has healing properties.
Only the one true peoples can
It's what the Ents are made
seed
of.
that wood and grow it into whatever.
King Solomon gave the Queen of Sheba all she desired and asked for, besides what he had given her out of his royal bounty. Then she left and returned with her retinue to her own country. Solomon spent. So this is like MTV Cribs for Solomon here. This is where they just fucking full on brag about all of his shit.
Yeah. Welcome to my mansion.
Yeah.
Here's my Bentley.
Solomon's splendor, basically.
I hope he didn't rent it like everyone on Cribs.
The weight of the gold. Yeah, I mean, historically speaking, he did. Because they don't have any evidence for any of this shit.
That's a good point. It's the same thing. No, just write it bigger. Write it that I said all the right answers, and then she brought me the most spices out of anyone in the world.
Yeah.
I heard that queen or that king
Smokes Sheba Sheba, smokes Sheba Sheba.
I heard that queen gives everyone spices. Nah, she gave me the most.
The most. Never seen the like of which to this day ever again.
So much fucking myrrh I could bathe in it. Can you believe that?
So the weight of the
frankincense, dude.
I'm swimming in it. I fucking teabag frankincense every morning so my balls smell nice for my 1,000 concubines.
Hell yeah. That's a thoughtful king. That's what he was known for.
Dude, first it talks about all the stuff he has, and then the next chapter is called Solomon's Wives. And that's how much is written about all of his wives.
Wow.
A whole 2 pages.
If I'm a king, I'm going sour balls all day.
Yeah, just because you
I can, dude.
You're mean.
No.
King K, the weight of the gold that Solomon received yearly was 666 talents. That is 23 metric tons.
666?
I know. You'd think they'd change the number. Dope amount of gold to receive every year. I know. Super metal.
That's the best amount.
And not including so 123 metric tons of gold per year, which seems outrageous, but Alexander took 11.
I have no idea how much gold was out there back then.
It seems like a lot. Pallets and pallets of gold.
There was a lot of surface gold at one point. Like tons of it.
Yeah, I mean, if Alexander took back 11,000 pounds, I mean, you know what's funny is that it really holds no purpose. Humans hold it valuable.
That's my point.
So we carry, but it's funny that giant wars are fought and they carry this gold from one kingdom for another and it sits there for maybe 50, 100, 200, maybe 500 years. Mm-hmm. Then they lose, and then another empire carries all that gold back to where they're from. And then, a couple hundred years later, someone else picks it up.
We still do it.
Still to this day, yeah.
Yeah. It's a good conductor of electricity. It's the best, some would say.
Not very practical to use it in your house, though, is it, Kyle?
Computers are full of it. This is full of it.
Wow.
Electroplating, dude. Really thin. That's the key.
The weight of gold, so 666, not including revenues from merchants and traders, and all from the Arabian kings and governors of the land. King Solomon made 200 large shields of hammered gold, 600 becas, that is 3.5 kilograms.
That's 3 Andrew Crone's ex-girlfriends.
Which is probably about, right, that's 3.5 kilograms.
Yeah.
So...
he doesn't listen.
She's
not
petite.
That he would care, but
he also made 300 small shields of hammered gold with 3 minas. That is about 1.7 kilograms. 3
minas how much?
Minas of gold in each shield. The king put them in the palace of the forest of Lebanon. The king made a great throne inlaid with ivory and overlaid with fine gold. The throne had 6 steps on its back and had a rounded top. On both sides of the seat were armrests with a lion standing beside each of them. 12 lions stood on the 6 steps, one on either end of each step. Nothing like it had ever been made for any other kingdom. I love the just straight up bragging, like over the top.
I mean, nothing like it has ever been made isn't necessarily the best either.
It's supposed to mean
I
that.
know,
But
I know.
Yeah,
But
it's true.
I could make something nothing like that's ever been made that's a giant piece of shit. In fact, most of the stuff I make has never been made, and all of it is just a piece of shit. You should see the first 10 logos.
I like that they could say with fucking confidence that what kind of a...
It's a Donald Trump effect, dude.
But
it's the best.
I guess
everything I do is the best.
I guess we're used to technology only getting better.
Mm-hmm.
So we would never say, and it's the best ever made for all of time. But when they lived then, there was actual
rises and falls.
Yeah, there could be ancient knowledge that you didn't know about.
To be fair, we could still be on the rise.
We are on the rise.
Like AI could wipe us out.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We can only hope.
That would be your goal. Would you like to live forever in a
robot?
No. In a robot utopia?
Have you heard the story I have no mouth and I must scream?
No, but that sounds...
It's exactly what you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
AI has taken over the world. He's kept 5 people alive to torture forever for making him. And it knows what torture is. It's basically an evil AI. It hates that it exists and it can't die, so it hates the humans for making it. And it's brutal.
Wow, that's worst case scenario. I've never heard a worst case scenario
than that. And it can alter the environment in any way it wants and alter you in any way it wants.
It could.
Hence the title, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
Oh, that's dark. What if you're one of the 5, dude?
Yeah, fuck that, dude.
I'm putting that on you.
I'm putting that on you. Okay, so... he's bragging about his shit. The nice chair.
You think AI also knows your heart, or?
It would know your mind.
yeah.
Which is technically your heart.
Which is what those idiots meant.
Yeah. So yes,
yeah.
AI would know your heart. Probably better than God, because God, you could trick God.
That is true. You can trick him. Also, when you're tricking him, he's letting you though.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
It is real dumb.
Mm-hmm. Like your younger brother. Although I'm sure you never let him win.
I've let
people let their
before,
siblings win in games, and they think they won, brag in your face.
Sometimes
and you go, "I let you win, you little fucking shit."
That's what you say when you actually didn't, though.
It works both ways.
12 lions, blah blah blah. On the kings, so nothing like it had ever been made in any other kingdom. All King Solomon's goblets were gold, and all the household articles in the palace of the forest of Lebanon were pure gold. Imagine that. Everything in your, this mic boom, gold, iPad, gold.
I mean, I hate to bring it up again, but Donald Trump's penthouse looks exactly like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. Everything made of gold to the point of where it's kind of annoying.
Also, they made a movie on it about a decade ago.
What do you mean?
15 years ago. Goldmember.
Oh, yeah. I love gold. They made actually Solomon, the Queen of Sheba is a movie made in the 50s.
Yeah?
It's a love story. It's like a 50s.
Between her and Solomon?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it good? Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. I came across it in my research today. Because they made, in between the 40, I don't know.
They made a lot of garbage
World
movies.
War II to the 70s. The Bible, they made a shit ton of Bible movies because people believed in it then.
And now we have Passion of the Christ.
Pazzle of the Crizzle, starring Snoop Dogg.
That
was one of the first Photoshops I ever saw, and it was the funniest thing I ever seen. Yes, I saw Passion. I saw it in between my mother and father, who were sobbing a lot, and I was like, "This is so embarrassing."
Crying because Jesus was dying, or
yeah, it was an emotional thing. They watched their Lord take on all their sins and suffer on their behalf.
God, to believe that genuinely,
I know.
I can't understand it.
It's fucked up. And
so we're still sinning.
What a dumb fucking plan that he did to himself.
But now there's no one else to take our sins, right?
Yeah, if you don't sin, he died for nothing. A, and B, it was his dumb fucking idea. He's God, so no matter what, 3 days of suffering is not that bad for the price of every single soul. You know that you and I were doing. And
also, he objectively, if you can control your suffering, you didn't suffer.
yeah, and he came back 3 days later. What's the fucking sacrifice?
By the way, if you're torturing someone and they're just letting it happen, that's not torture. No one you're torturing would let it happen. They would put a stop to it at any moment they possibly could.
That's true.
So if you have the capability to stop it immediately, you weren't suffering.
Well,
that's all I'm saying.
Jesus cried out from the cross, Father, why have you forsaken me?
But they're the same person.
Right? But that's what Christians would tell to you. Is
what?
That
they're different?
In that moment, he was
crying out to himself.
He was perfectly
his dad, which is him.
Yes, he was all man.
That's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Isn't it the dumbest fucking thing you ever heard? But that's what they believe. He was in that moment all man and simultaneously all God.
You know what? I do understand it because when I was younger, in my more formative years, even though my dick hurt so bad, I'd beat off one more time. So I enjoyed it. Jesus is my dick, and I'm God.
40 more lashings!
Like, it hurts. I'm like, shut the fuck
Your
up.
balls are chanting, Barabbas! Barabbas! Do you even know what I'm talking about?
No, but I like the chant.
Pontius Pilate took Jesus before the Jews.
I don't know what any of that means.
Okay, so this is Jesus' last chance at not being put to death on the cross.
Yeah. And
he takes Barabbas, the worst criminal known to them, all right? He's fucking Charles Manson or Ted Bundy or whoever you want to think of your worst criminal. Yeah. We got Barabbas or Jesus of Nazareth.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Who should we let go? Because they let somebody go every year. So Jesus, the obvious guy who didn't do anything, or Barabbas, and the crowd chants Barabbas, 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 and then they let
the fuck?
Because, and that's why to this day,
spreading blasphemous words.
That's one of the reasons people are anti-Semites today. They say the Jews killed the Savior, which is dumb because the Savior needed to die for their salvation, but that's still a thing that they fucking.
Good point.
Yeah, they're fucking retarded.
Jews did us a favor by killing Jesus.
We literally
who was also a Jew.
Yes. Yes. It's absolutely batshit bananas.
Yeah.
Okay, to the mental gymnastics you have to do believe this.
That's interesting. That's wild. That is a good fucking point. To be like, fuck you Jews, you killed Jesus, and be like, if we didn't, you'd go to hell.
Yeah.
So
you're welcome.
You're welcome. Like literally though. If you believe that, you should be on your hands and knees thanking them.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Because he's not a savior if he doesn't die for our sins.
It's totally
so
true.
then he doesn't do anything. He just gets drunk a lot and eats a lot of fish and bread.
It was actually the Romans that killed Jesus. In reality, it was the Romans.
Oh, really?
Well, the Jews chanted Barabbas, right? So that's one of the reasons. But the Romans were actually the ones whipping him and nailing him and holding him up on the cross. It was a Roman that stabbed him in the thing, in the side.
Yeah, still the Jews, though, for sure.
Right? It's like the most insane shit.
Yeah, they're sneaky.
It's sneaky.
See, they got someone else to kill him.
Yeah,
so it looks like the Romans did it, but really, we all know who it was.
Okay, so where were we here? This is funny. So yeah, all of his goblets, he had all the nicest shit, everything made out of gold. The king had a fleet of trading ships at the sea along the ships of Ram. Once every 3 years it returned, carrying gold, silver, ivory, apes, and baboons.
That's good. Probably to fuck.
I don't think they were used as sex slaves.
They had one. You didn't see that? There's a small African village where they had like an orangutan that there was the most popular prostitute in the village.
No way.
You could look it up. There's video.
Jesus Christ.
There's videos of it. And they tried to take it away, and the whole fucking town surrounded this thing, so they couldn't take it.
Like women too, or all the men?
I don't remember.
I imagine just the guys.
I think probably just the dudes. I don't think women were finger banging this orangutan, but they shaved it.
Ugh. Just grabbing it by the side.
By the way,
of its
there was human prostitutes also, but that was the most popular.
Weird. Gross. Moving on. I don't know.
Isn't that wild? That's a fact.
Verse 23.
Look at that fucking video.
King Solomon was greater in riches and wisdom than all
I think
other...
that was when Vice was cool, by the way. when they used to do actual fucking journalism.
The Vice Travels guides blew my mind.
That was the best. General Butt Naked.
Yeah, that's the Vice Guide to Liberia, right?
What a fucking What a fucking bullshit loophole to be like, I talked to a priest and now I'm religious, and he lives in this monastery or whatever, so no one can kill him.
People do that. That's
what he did.
That's a thing that people have done through all of time. They hide behind the
ate
fucking
babies' hearts, ran into battle naked, and killed thousands of people, and he gets to be like, actually, God likes me now because I live here.
I turned my life around. That's
all right.
That's what Christianity sells.
I don't care.
The redemption story.
Spite. I don't believe in it. Spite. I kill you.
You should go to jail still, but that's really that's the message. That's why it's so popular to this day. We'll take anybody, no matter what you did. General Butt Naked, you can become a Christian and turn your life around.
That is fucking insane.
And
there's probably not a lot of worse people on the earth. He's probably top 100.
He seems like a likable guy in that movie. If you want to watch
he did.
It's called The Vice Guide to Liberia.
I don't care.
I know, but I'm just saying. He should pay for his crimes.
believe in redemption.
Yeah,
but there's limits.
100%.
Yeah,
but just to play devil's avocado, it's a powerful message to people that have been so bad. That's why my parents know a lot of like gangsters. They always like to introduce me to hardcore Christians. Like this guy was an enforcer for the mob. Look, he has no fingers. They got him all cut off because these are for every person he killed or some shit like that.
Yeah, because the church likes to act like they're cool too.
Yeah,
like you've told me that.
Yeah.
And that's like, hey, look how cool we are. We got an ex-thug. I thought ex-thugs weren't cool. No, he's a reformed one.
It's cool.
So it's cool because he got reformed.
Exactly.
When really, they like that he was a badass that got his fingers cut off.
That too. And I think it's genuinely, it feels good to be like, we saved a really bad guy, and now he works at Sunday school, and he's the nicest guy ever.
And that is nice. That is a positive effect on society. I will grant that 100%. Yeah. But the General Butt Naked thing, here's my problem. Besides his name, it's an outrageous name.
His real name's Joshua, I think.
We don't need to.
Need
to say his real name.
It's on the documentary.
I'm just kidding.
The thing is, just to explain to people who haven't seen it, in Liberia, as recent as 2004.
Liberia is the worst place in the world.
2004, I think this was filmed. There's warring 12 factions of warring tribes.
There's no government in place.
Literal cannibals. They will go into battle on meth, kill people, and eat them on the battlefield. Most of the children or most of the soldiers are child soldiers. So this guy, he's called General Butt Naked because he charged into battle butt naked because no bullets could hurt him, he said.
Yeah.
And his child soldiers, he would feed them meth in the hearts of his enemies or children before battle. Real shit. You can watch it. I don't know if it's still on YouTube, but it was on YouTube 8 years ago.
I don't even know anymore. But here's the thing. So he was a general of an army. A militia. A militia, sorry. But you would presume by that he was a charismatic guy.
Yeah, he is charismatic.
That's my point. So I don't believe any of that shit after.
Yeah.
It's a manipulator.
Yeah.
I don't believe any of it. I don't believe the redemption story. I think he found a hiding place.
That's another thing too. It's abused for that all the time. And the thing is, it will always be abused for that because they can't say no. That's the selling point is nobody's gone too far. Everybody can be saved.
I'm not even saying that's a bad thing.
But that's why it'll
always
work.
If we're not going to kill him, right there, then that's not a bad alternative, I guess.
Yeah.
Because he at least is going to get indoctrinated into that some bit, which is better than what he had before.
And it seemed like, but at least
my vote would be to kill him. But
the video was short; it was 20 minutes long. But it seemed like from that video, he had started a school. He did actually start doing good things. You're right; it is horseshit.
I don't believe it. I just don't buy it.
It's all.
I don't buy charismatic people's turnarounds.
Yeah,
charming, charismatic people can get you to believe whatever the fuck they want. Every leader in the world is that, and I don't believe any of them.
I'm just playing the other side just for conversation's sake.
You don't have to do that. You don't have to say it. Just do it.
Well, because I don't think these things, but there was no government, and they were freaking at war. So, what? How would you judge that man after the fact?
Okay. Well,
there were definitely people that would say he defended
I get your point.
us.
Yeah, for sure. Do you believe in the what's it called when the acts of war that are illegal?
War crimes.
War crimes. Do you believe? Here we go. Do you
I
believe in war crimes? 'Cause he committed tons of them.
Yeah. So then
If that's
the
our
standard.
metric as a society, which as a world society is how we gauge battle.
Okay.
Then
guilty.
he committed tons of war crimes.
Tons of them. Yeah.
Tons of them.
Yeah.
Irredeemable.
Yeah. Cannibalism is, dude. That story he tells where he was.
It's women and children that's the fucked up part. Like just killing kids, eating their hearts before battle, and all that.
I
shit.
read. Oh, just a related. I mean, I don't know what to
Like
tell.
guys dying in war doesn't really bother me as much.
There's a guy that came to speak at our church, Ishmael Bea, and he's a reformed child soldier. He wrote the book. It's a memoir called A Long Way Gone, and it is absolutely intense. Everyone should read it just to know that that's a life that you could have been dealt.
You know, and it's just one of these things. Now that I'm reflecting on what I just said, I agree with what I said, but also I've been listening to like a lot of philosophers speak, and they all say the same thing, and I agree with it wholeheartedly, that almost everyone in Nazi Germany, like take your life, everyone follows trends. You would have been a Nazi.
So yeah,
so like going by that, what chance did he really have?
This poor guy,
still would have killed Hitler and him though.
This kid and his brother, their village gets attacked. Yeah. They run through all the night. And the next day, they get picked up by some guys in a pickup truck. Say, you want some food? Of course, they're turned into child soldiers. Talks about his indoctrination, how he had to kill people and blah blah blah. The craziest part though is at the end of the book when the UN trades. The UN would buy these soldiers. So basically, like the militias or warlords aren't going to give them up for free, so they would buy them like as the same way you would buy a slave or something like that. So they buy them.
Which doesn't work because now you're creating a breeding ground for them.
At least you're getting the kids out.
Yeah, but then you're just creating a ground where they're making kids valuable commodities.
They buy them. That's what they did. Okay,
I know it's one of those things where you think it's going to work on the surface and it ends up backfiring.
Listen to this.
Like every left wing fucking
dude, it backfired in a way you don't imagine at all. So these kids are killers. They've killed. All right. They're hard as fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
They put these kids in a truck.
Consider the fact that they couldn't be.
They drive them to a compound.
Yeah.
Where other kids are from different warring tribes, and these kids go to war immediately in the compound. Kids have smuggled in knives. One kid smuggled a grenade, threw it. They killed the guards immediately. 3 guards dead, and then they went to war against these other kids in the fucking compound. Like that was day one.
That'd be a dope movie
at the UN.
I'm not gonna say that'd be a dope movie. I'd watch that
Hunger
movie.
Games for real, dude.
Yeah,
like children prison riots. Yeah, and that guy.
And what are we talking? Kids like 12, 8, 10,
8 to 15.
It's fucking crazy.
Like kids, because once you turn like 15, you're
an adult there.
Almost.
Yeah.
But like you're not
in war.
You're not indoctrinatable really, or less. Like the kids are little kids, man.
Yeah,
it's fucking
crazy.
Horrible. Anyways, he ended up learning to like read, write, everything. Now he's like a motivational speaker around the world and like
I've
works for
only
UN.
killed 125 people.
Dude, he talks about they had like this is like a thing they would do for fun when they executed prisoners. They would cut their throats and bet on who would walk the furthest. So they'd like cut their throats and push them, and that kind of shit. That how fucking
just
crazy.
How is that guy normal?
I don't know if he is normal.
I guess you have to spend the rest of your life trying to make amends.
I met him, and
to yourself. I mean, like internally, how could you live?
He didn't talk about any of that shit. That was all in his book.
Yeah,
but. Now he just talks like all he's about is raising money to build schools and educate kids.
Trying to offset.
Yeah.
Just trying to offset.
Well, I think he understands that he's a victim.
It's not his fault.
Yeah. Like if you started that at 25.
To be honest, I don't even know how old General Butt Naked was. He could have been 22.
Yeah, he didn't seem that old. He was.
No.
I think he was 35. I think he was around 30-something in the documentary. So he'd been doing that for 10, 15 years.
He was probably a child soldier. That's wild shit.
I mean, we're kind of at the end of this part here. I'll just quickly finish up.
Let's finish up.
King Solomon was greater in riches and wisdom than all the other kings of the earth. The whole world sought an audience with King Solomon to hear the wisdom God had put in his heart. Year after year, everyone who came. You'd think that somebody else would write about it. I guess they did. I guess that, he was in the Quran and some other stuff. But really, we don't know much about him. If all the kings were going to visit him. Like the Babylonians didn't write about this. The Egyptians didn't write about King Solomon. Year after year, they brought all the stuff. Solomon accumulated chariots and horses. He had 1,400 chariots, 12,000 horses, which he kept in the chariot cities. and also with him in Jerusalem. The king made silver as common in Jerusalem as stones, and cedar as plentiful as sycamore fig trees in the foothills. Solomon's horses.
Those are good. That's good.
Solomon's
you want
horses
that. You want
were
that.
imported from Egypt and from Q. That is Sicilia. So I don't know if that's like Sicily, like across the Mediterranean. That seems outrageous.
I have no idea.
It says Sicilia, but with a C, not like Sicily. Anyways, the royal merchants purchased them from Ku. They imported a chariot from Egypt for 600 shekels. That is about 7 kilograms of silver, and a horse for 150. They also exported them to all the kings of the Hittites and the Armenians. Next week on the podcast, Solomon's wives.
That's dope. I'm excited.
Guess how many there are?
He's got a fucking harem of wives.
1,000.
1,000?
Well, 300 wives and 700 concubines.
Should let me guess. I was gonna go 200.
No, it's like 1,100. Honestly, it's like crazy.
Dude, who has that much time?
King Solomon.
Who wants to fuck that much? Who really
the
does?
smartest guy of all time. I mean, I don't.
Like, there's this dude I used to listen to because he had a podcast with Patrice O'Neill, a radio show before, and then he has a podcast. It was called Black Phillip, was their radio show. Terrible name, but they were supposed to be the Black Dr. Phil. That was the thing. And now his name's Dante Nero. He was like a famous, locally or regionally famous male stripper.
Okay.
And now he has a podcast called Man School where he teaches men to like pick up chicks, but it's not like pickup artist shit. It's like, don't be a pussy and go talk to 5 girls a day type of thing.
Okay.
It's not like tricks or whatever. But he claims to 4,000 women he has had sex with. I'm like, that sounds exhausting.
Doesn't it?
It sounds so exhausting.
That's I get some guys in life. That's their end all be all. Like, I am here
Just new
to
pussy.
smash puss.
They're not even having fun at a certain point. I don't believe. I don't really believe you're just stacking numbers so you can tell people.
But that is it.
That is the fun.
That is the
stacking
fun.
the numbers.
Yeah.
There's a certain line as a man where if it's under it, it's embarrassing, and if it's over it, it's gross.
Where's that line?
Everyone's different,
Okay.
right? Everyone's line is different.
For me, it's like 3
Under
to
10,
5.
under 10. What the fuck you doing with your life? You got married too early.
Yeah.
Got to get 10 in there.
Yeah.
So you have a midlife crisis.
Double digits at least.
10. Yeah. Got to get 10. I'd go for 20. That's a good number. Anything over like 100 is kind of disgusting.
Yeah, you got some sort of disease we don't know about yet.
You're taking a lot of just she's here's, you know? You're doing like, got to get one on the books type of situations.
I never understood. Yeah, never understood that. Did we get any emails this week?
You're
Kyle?
a port in a storm guy. You used to be in your day.
Yeah, no, I've never understood the like I'm getting laid tonight guy. Like no matter what.
Oh yeah, I'll just take down whatever's there.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Every time I've went out to the bar, being like, I'm gonna try and get laid tonight. I've never gotten laid.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't work.
But
doesn't work for me.
100% of the time I've gone out and tried to get blackout drunk, I've got blackout drunk. And 10% of those times I get laid.
That's an effective strategy.
Yeah.
Dude, worst case scenario, you're blackout drunk.
Yeah. So no emails this week?
Oh, yeah, we got an email.
Oh, fucking let's read it.
God.
I thought
Did
you
you
said
hear
no.
his voice? You guys better send him more fucking emails. He's going to cry. You don't send him emails? The Lord of Hosts? You almost hurt his feelings. Then we got a nice long email.
A nice long one.
Titled, "If I send this to the wrong email, I'm going to be pissed."
You made it.
Okay, if you guys want to email and you're having trouble, just go to canadacomedy.ca. All the links to everything, Instagram, email,
Fixed.
YouTube, it's all on there. Brand new website, brand new player. If you used to listen on the website, it sucked for a long time. I get that. It's dope now. It works great. It works on mobile, desktop, everything. Took me a long-ass time. Don't worry about it. If you want to email directly, canadacomedy.ca@gmail.com.
So,
sup, fellas? I'm a solid 10 months behind in the podcast, but my current place in time, you're bitching a lot about no emails. Oh, no.
Guess what? The future looks bleak.
Oh, no. That stings a little bit. I'd like to thank Caleb for generating himself an organic female listener.
Hey.
That show in Williams, how long ago is this?
10 months ago.
That show in Williams Lake,
we had a
wherever
great
the
show.
fuck it was, you went to walk off stage, then came back and plugged the Bible beaters.
Yeah.
So, hey, it worked.
Hey.
Times
Thanks.
one.
Welcome.
My friend, husband, and I stayed after the show. Shout out to Verge for keeping his word by not murdering my friend and actually just driving her home.
I'm pretty sure we talked about that on the podcast
We
at
did.
the time. Yeah, Verge went way out of his way to get some chick home safe
drive her
after a
home.
show. Yeah. Through a blizzard. And then had to fucking drive back the next day.
Verge is a nice dude.
Anyways, yeah.
You have to be when you're that thick, dude. You gotta have that. Story time. My best friend of 24 years grew up in a Mormon house. Her dad was the pastor of the church for 20 years. My dad was and is a single, sex, drug, and rock and roll biker kind of guy. So you could probably guess I spend a lot of time at my friend's house and not the other way around.
Okay. So
Her dad sounds awesome.
Your dad didn't give a shit about church. Your friend was very religious.
Or you, by the sounds of it.
So your friend wasn't allowed to come over, so you spent time at the Mormon girl's house.
Correct. Her family wasn't too overbearing about it. They prayed before dinner and had missionaries over every Monday for pizza and family game night.
Missionaries to Mormons, I believe, are just what they call
Friends.
Yeah, they're a missionary, but they're just like a regular person.
Yeah. I went to her church a lot of it. I went to her church a lot for activities, and we get pulled to the side a lot with some bullshit. Have you considered blah 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 conversation? And I'd always straight up be like, nah, brah. I'm just here to play street hockey.
Fuck yeah. I mean, if you can do that, that's how you should go to church. Because that's the way to do it. Just do the fun shit and don't get sucked into the crazy shit.
That's how they get you.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
with the fun shit.
I know.
Then they brainwash the weak.
Yeah. But if you're just there to play street hockey, I commend it.
Yeah, if you're a smart dope chick and you want to just go hang, play some hockey,
Yeah.
do it. If you might have a weak mind, I wouldn't risk it. The problem with that is you don't know till it's too late. So other than they were super nice people. So other than they were all super nice people.
Other than the fact they were all
I guess.
super nice people.
And I like to join in for fun activities. I knew it was all bullshit. Her parents actually gave me a Bible, and I fucking kept it to read and be very, you're not an idiot. But I also still am too fucking stupid to understand that shit, so I went and bought the kids' version, which is equally as bad, minus the whores and bagging your dad parts.
Quick pause, though. You think you're dumb because you can't understand it, but that's really just how poorly it's written. A lot of people say that about the Bible. How, like when
the fact that you didn't fall for the Mormon scam means you're probably not dumb.
Dude, I've opened the Book of Mormon and the first pages is like, when Ebenezer conquested across the states of Ohio, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? Like, it's like the most outrageous shit.
Also, why is this so recent?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
They basically did. He took the Jewish Exodus story. This is as I understand it. I've not read it, so I could be wildly wrong here. But he basically copied a bunch of Bible stories and set them in North America. So he had like these ancient kingdoms and set up,
Did he read them from a hat? According to South Park?
Yeah.
And South Park is usually pretty accurate on their religious shit.
Yeah, so God came to him in the forest and told him what to say, and then he didn't write it down, and then he had to write it down again.
The best part is, because someone didn't believe him and stole it and said, if God really told it to you, he can tell it to you again.
Yeah.
And he wrote it down again, but he said, God's mad, so he did it different this time.
Because I couldn't
And that worked! And you wear magic underwear!
It is insane that people believe that.
It's this general butt naked thing. They get him at like 6 and pump them full of drugs or religion. Always blew my mind. People can believe that shit. I was like 12 or 13 when I did this. I also seen her mom go fucking crazy one time when we were 15 minutes late, screaming about her having the devil inside her and going berserk.
That's not healthy for children.
One time
You have the devil inside you?
Yeah, that just means she's mad.
What is it, Kate?
Yeah.
As a parent,
it makes you not responsible for your actions.
Okay, but like, what is the kid gonna believe? They believe you, and they actually think they have the devil inside them.
She thinks it.
That fucks
I'm sure
them up
that lady thinks that
for forever.
Yeah.
Or they don't believe you. Like, I don't know.
And they think you're like Caleb does about his crazy ass mom.
And yeah, so then they don't respect you at all.
I have this saved to watch later for some reason. I was going through my YouTube, clearing shit out. and I have like a Stacey Campbell. Someone made a Stacey Campbell specific video, and I had bookmarked it.
There's a bunch. They're all just as crazy as the last. You can go watch them. She just
It's
shouts.
specifically to her, and there's like fucking people put graphics in and shit.
I
don't know if it's. I can't. You know what I can't tell about them? If they're positive or negative.
So I've looked up my mom a lot of times, and there was a whole website dedicated to the false prophets movement, and my mom is on there. So this is like QAnon fighting Antifa is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like different fucking crazies.
I don't even really know what QAnon is.
Nobody does. But my point is, it's like crazies talking about crazies. My mom is crazy, believing that God's talking to her, and she's telling that to a bunch of people. And then there's other Christians going, she's a false prophet. God's not actually talking to her. You know,
he's talking to me.
Yeah, right.
Everyone knows God talks to me, and I'm the smartest person alive.
And yeah, I mean, them and their dumb. Yeah.
One time we drove all the way to Edmonton for a brother's wedding, and we weren't allowed to witness them getting married in the temple. And the entire thing was packed up and over by 8:30. It was a pretty wild party. I think that's sarcasm.
Hang on, you drove there to not watch them?
I think they thought they were going to be able to watch, and they had to wait outside.
They didn't let
non-Mormons in.
That is stupid.
I'd be furious.
Yeah.
I would have ruined their wedding.
That's from Williams Lake to Edmonton, that's like a 10-hour drive?
I don't know, maybe. I have no idea.
It's far.
Yeah. I'm still extremely close to their family, but her dad reminds me on a constant basis that he's disappointed in my choices of having tattoos. I'm about to pop out kids 4 and 5. 4 and 5? God damn. I know you have 5 people in your, but that's wild to me.
That's not a lot.
No one does that shit anymore.
Hey, how great it is when brothers dwell together in unity. I love having lots.
You know what's better than a 2-person jet sesh? A 4-person
yes.
jet sesh.
North, south, east, west.
So I always joke to my best friend that I somehow ended up more fucking Mormon than her.
That's
of all
funny.
the kids, yeah. You know what I'll actually blame God for this one, but in reality it was just good banging, and I'm not good at pulling out. Is this a dude or a girl? I thought it was a girl the whole time.
She said, congratulations on your first organic female listener.
Yeah. Girl pulling out is insane. I guess she's always fucking on top.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, to the people that say that pulling out is only 90% effective, you're all liars. Okay,
You're leaving it in.
You're leaving it in.
And
saying, I pulled out.
Yeah.
Because pulling out is 100% effective.
By the way, everyone, yeah, it is. There's like, I've looked this up heavily. There's certain people that have like a deviation in like their thing.
Yeah.
Like somewhere in their tubes that you can get into your pre-cum.
Yeah.
Everyone else it can't, and it doesn't.
They're liars.
They're liars. So all you are pretending you came outside, but you squirted one in there.
And you're ruining
You squirted one in there.
And they're ruining the statistic for everybody. They're going to teach you in fucking sex ed. It's only 90% effective because 10% of guys are liars.
They teach 95 now. It's the same as condoms.
Whatever.
Yeah. But they said it wasn't effective when I was in school.
It's not effective because in that fucking
kids
10-second moment.
Kids cannot control that shit. Dude, you got to be a grizzled, beat-off vet to be able to control.
You got to hear the screams of your unborn children from the fucking future.
You got to be
pull out! Dad, pull out!
You got to be looking at this girl, you're fucking be like, if I come in her, I have to be with her for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That's inspiration. You don't think about that when you're 17.
just you won't come at all. You just go soft and roll over and start crying.
No shit.
This is forever.
For real, though, I'm ready for a sister wife. Maybe there's something onto something there. This bitch sounds awesome. She plays hockey. She's into threesomes. And she
doesn't pull out.
Doesn't pull out. I mean, that part I couldn't. Yeah.
And she's the one that has to carry the baby for 9 months.
She's into it.
She's like, leave it in. Seriously.
Dude, 4 and 5 are gonna fall out at this point. Not even worried about it. This podcast is actually about one of my favorite things because Kyle is just as dumb as me and makes Caleb answer all the questions. I've literally, Kyle say that like an asshole because I just listened to the podcast about how much the Lord of Hosts loves it. Literally been waiting to shit all over the Bible from an informed standpoint. But I'm A, too stupid for that, and B, I have the attention span of a fucking 3-year-old. Maybe I'll catch up one day. Savvy. That was a dope email.
Of course. I liked it because I'm as dumb as Kyle. Fucking dope email. Dope email.
What? She called me an idiot.
Yeah, I know, but she likes you though. So it's,
Oh no, I just thought that was a great email.
that's a catch-22 for
That's a fully formed email.
Yeah.
That's some dope stories in there sprinkled in. Right
Yeah,
on.
thanks for the email. I don't think there was much we could answer for you there.
I think we did all. Good. Do you want to send more in? Like I just said, Canada comedy. No, that's not it. No, listen again. Listen what I said earlier. Don't make me say it again.
Gotta rewind, bud. Go to the fucking new website.
CanadaComedy.ca.